a very special guest on Prime Time this evening. She's a national award-winning actor who has fronted numerous Bollywood movies. She's shattered glass ceilings, they say. She's a one-man army, one-woman army, and has really broken all sorts of stereotypes. Vidya Balan is going to attempt to do that once more with TUMHARI SULU. Vidya, the trailers look like a very different kind of movie experience. You're talking about, or you're portraying someone who's an everyday woman trying to dream big.
Absolutely. You know, I think that's what I found wonderful about TUMHARI SULU. One of the things that I connected to was the fact that it's a middle-class story. And in a while, we'd not seen middle-class stories being told. I'm talking about 2 years ago when Suresh Triveni, the writer-director, actually came to me. At that time, we'd, I think, almost forgotten middle-class stories, you know. Now, at least, there have been a couple of films. And I come from the middle class, as in, I come from a middle-class background. So, I think it's so wonderful, you know, the dreams, the aspirations, and yet the sense of security and contentment that I felt in my family was what I saw in this story. So which is why I felt like, you know, this is something I want to do. Of course, the character, she's unputdownable, she's unstoppable, she's one of a kind. She's
quite like you. I don't know you, I'm assuming.
Right. Yeah, but I did connect with her a lot because I just feel she's so full of life, she's full of beans, she's constantly wanting to try things. The mantra is, "Main kar sakti hai." You know, and that's how she lands herself a job as an RJ, and that to a late night one at that. You know, so you don't expect a homemaker, someone who's been a homemaker for 12 years, to suddenly jump onto the late night RJ scene, which is a bit more risque and intimate and all that.
Sexy, if we can say sexy. Can we still say sexy? I don't know.
Of course we can.
So, you know, another thing I found very interesting, and honestly I just have the trailer to go by, is there is an element of work-life balance which you bring into that movie. And that is something I think a lot of our viewers will connect with. How difficult it is to try and make something of your career while you also balance your role, you know, in your family, whether you're a man or a woman.
I think it's amazing, no, that of course historically women have been the homemakers. So in more recent times when they've started stepping out, they are being allowed to, of course, step out and maybe pursue their dreams and their ambitions, but not being allowed to let go of that, you know, homemaker responsibility, which I think it's unfortunate only because, you know, now that the woman is also stepping out, the man should also step in.
I call it the double shift.
Yeah.
Women are working in double shifts all the time.
Constantly, not even double shift. There's a constant shift. You know, I mean, you're working from morning to night. I know so many people, especially once you're a mother and you're working. You know, you're anyway working at home and then you're working outside, and it's almost thankless, you know. So I think I can't speak about the work-life balance personally speaking, because I think I'm in a very privileged position. I have people attending, you know, taking care of my home when I'm away, and I of course oversee things and I'm on the top of everything, but you know, it's easier for me. But most women, I recognize that mine is a privileged position. Most women don't have that option. Also, there's so much guilt if you're not balancing everything, you know.
No, absolutely. You've tapped into that. I just want to, you know, get your views on the kind of movies the industry is making and the kind of movies you do, and also in the context of what we're seeing right now in Hollywood. Weinstein, Spacey, all of these skeletons coming out of the closet. There's a lot of conversation on what goes on in Bollywood. Do you have any view as a leading actor what's happening in your industry?
You know, it's all hearsay because I've never been propositioned or spoken to improperly. I think given that, you know, I was allowed to pursue my passion as an actor, because we come from a non-film family, which is why I'm saying allowed to, you know. Given that, I was always scared that, you know, I would lose interest if someone behaved badly with me. So, you know, if I ever sensed anything amiss, I would run miles away from there, even if it meant saying tata bye-bye to the opportunity, you know. So I think that's why that was my defense. That's how I protected myself all these years. But I hear from a lot of people, therefore, that it is very much a reality. I would think people are a little more scared today before they make a pass at a woman or even a man, just before being improper, because they know that everyone has access to social media and they can be defamed very easily. I would think that is a real fear.
But it hasn't happened in the Indian context, which is my question. Me Too, and then You Too, and all of that found a lot of people coming out and speaking. Your top producers, your top studios reacted by pulling the plug on projects which were going on at that point at the risk of losing a lot of money. I don't know if a situation like that would ever happen in the Indian film industry, where everything is hush-hush.
No, but I think we have to understand that we're talking about Hollywood, where you would think that women wouldn't get sexually harassed. Especially, I'm not saying no woman would get sexually harassed, not of the likes that have come out and spoken.
Yeah.
And here I think we're still, and we're talking about largely American society, or where you would imagine people are more open about these things. Here it's that much more difficult, and yet people have at least said, okay, me too, it's happened to me.
Yeah.
Which is great. I think naming, shaming, blaming, that's really each one's prerogative. I would think they should talk about it, but I've not gone through it.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for me to say someone should talk about it. But I think there will come a time when people are named and shamed for it. I think there's still a lot of fear around naming people, because you don't now suddenly, even if it's in the past, you don't want skeletons suddenly, surfacing, and you don't want this to become the topic around you.
Maybe you don't want to be seen as a victim.
No, also, you want your people to talk about your work.
Yeah.
You don't want that to get derailed, which will tend to happen given the climate today.
Okay, so let's come back to your work. Vidya, best of luck for the movie.
Thank you.
I have to let you go, but big fan of the kind of work you do, and I'm sure you will keep at it. Any last words before I let you go?
Yes, please watch Tumhari Sulu starting 17th November. It's a happy film, and that's all I'm going to say. Come experience it.
All right. Thanks once more for speaking with us on Bloomberg Quinn.
Pleasure, Tamanna.